everybody. Thank you for tuning in this week to the On Delay Run podcast. We are so honored that you would take some time to check us out. Please remember, we are on the socials. We are on TikTok and also Instagram. And so you can check us and check us out there and find us simply at Run. And so you can find us, and then also on Spotify and Apple Podcasts and also YouTube. So if you check out those places, you'll be able to find this podcast there. And it would be incredibly helpful if you gave us a follow, a rate, and or a comment or a review. It just takes a couple of seconds, and it helps us out tremendously to be able to get this out to as many people as we can. So with that being said, so I'm so excited about the guests that we have on the pod today. And Abe, why don't you go ahead and introduce our guest today?
Yeah, a big welcome to our guest today. I'm excited also. He's ran 426 over 1600, 916 over 32, 1420 on the grass and cross country. All as a sophomore, except for that cross country PR. He was ninth at state in cross country, 14th at NXR Midwest. This is Samuel Hill.
Hey guys,
Sam,
happy to be here.
how are you? Hey, how are you doing, my friend?
I'm doing great. Just happy to be here.
Hey, we're thrilled to have you on the show. So welcome to the On Delay Run podcast. And again, we've been looking forward to this and everything. So we're thrilled to be able to have a conversation with you and just talk about running, about life, and where you're at, and all those kind of things. So again, thank you so much for taking time to be with us. So. We're just going to jump right into it, Sam. And I know Abe actually has a couple of questions that he kind of to ask to start us off and everything. So, Abe, why don't you go ahead and ask your question there?
Yeah. So one thing I was wondering, just looking at your stats and PRs, is what do you think like the biggest jump was or the biggest factor was that made you so good so quickly? Looking at your PRs, you ran 15:52 as a freshman, which is, solid. And then you dropped over a minute and ran 14:47 the very next season. So what do you think the biggest contributor was to that success?
I would say freshman year, it's a little hard not to have an ego. I'd say probably a pretty large ego, not just like to a confidence standpoint, but just as an ego. So kind of getting that out of the way and realizing like kind of what I'm here to do and start having fun with it and run with my teammates more. And then talking about that, I kind of switched from a big ego to just having confidence in myself, confidence I could run with the big track guys on the track, and just confidence that I was the guy. Because going for sophomore at that time, that's a pretty good time. Especially my conference, it was pretty good conference. We had some good names with like Grayson and Francisco from Batavia and all those guys. So once I started, running with them, beating them once or twice, they're all great athletes. So once I knew I could do that, the 14:47 kind of came naturally that year.
Yeah. So you would say that was there much of a training, like, you upped your mileage or any training
Oh,
difference, or was it all really just mental?
I would say a lot of it was mental. I would say my mileage was more consistent. That was the biggest thing.
Mhm.
Along with the mentality that I kind of switched to. The mileage, freshman year, I was probably downwards of 35 miles a week, maybe 30, and not consistently at all. And then
Mhm.
sophomore year, I showed up more, put in doubles and stuff, harder workouts, all that stuff kind of comes naturally as you start to mature as a runner. So I
Mhm.
probably got up to 50 miles a week consistently with some good speed
Yeah,
work. So that kind of played a big factor in it.
that's good.
Yeah.
So if there's one piece of advice or one thing that you could say to your freshman self now after going through all that, what would you say to yourself then?
Um, I would probably say have fun with it because even freshman year, and I know I still have that problem sometimes, but I was always real like, really stressed out about races every week or just, different things
Mhm.
in the running aspect, like now the recruiting process, stuff like that. It's easy to fall away from just having fun with running and to just get
Yeah.
stressed out about it. So I reminded myself, I'm a freshman. I would remind myself, I'm a freshman in high school. I'm here to have fun and kind of learn the process and learn about running and just kind of learn from the better people and not just think that you're the best one out there all the time.
Yeah.
So, you talked about your ego a little bit and then having to kind of get rid of that a little bit. So how do you separate confidence in yourself and like ego, thinking maybe you're better than everybody? Well, confidence is part of thinking you're better, but how do you separate that?
I would say the ego is more of a, you know, things that are not realistic, like,
Mm.
thinking, I'm gonna go beat like a state champion or something, or just because I was a fast freshman at the time on my team, which is where I'd say it mostly came from. Just like
Mhm.
being jerks to your teammates and stuff like that, like that just makes no sense. Like they're there suffering with you, they're there running with you, and some of them were better than me, so there was really no need for me to have ego. I would say it's
Mm.
more, just it's not confidence, it's just being dumb. Like, but I would say confidence is more like, okay, I can go run this PR, I can go run with this guy because I trust my training, not because, oh, I'm a fast freshman and I don't care. I just think I'm really good, you know?
Sam, you said a lot of great things there, and I was gonna maybe we can draw it out a little bit more as far as like the confidence aspect and where you draw that from. So would you say like from your freshman year, because it sounds like some of the differences was the consistency of your running, and then how you became more consistent during that sophomore year. Um, so would you say that all your confidence comes from all, like the training you've done, or is it like also like what your parents tell you, what coaches tell you, or whatever the case may be, or what where do you where would that come from?
I would say back sophomore year, so going from freshman year to sophomore year, I would say the confidence kind of came from my training, especially since like I thought 50 miles was kind of crazy. No one else on my team was doing it, so I was like, okay, this is gonna make me have a big jump. And I was doing workouts that other people were doing and all that good stuff. And then I would say a lot of the confidence came from that, not really like other people saying good stuff about me, which that happened. Like my parents were really supportive of me and stuff like that. So were my coaches. But I'd say kind of that jump in mileage and trusting that mileage as well, and that kind of training. And then also, like I was talking about the conference race before, where that was probably my one big confidence pusher, like get my confidence up just because those guys were really good athletes and I was able to keep up with them.
Yeah. So with that, was there like a particular like race or meet that you were at that it just said it solidified that confidence? Like I am one of those guys. So was there a race that you can remember that maybe you had that thought?
I would definitely, if it's okay, I'd probably jump to track for that question. This is my
Yeah.
Palatine. I was not supposed to be in the fastest heat. I think I was seated dead last in the fastest heat. So, literally, I remember being in lane 1 all the way to the field. I think it was on the field actually, because there was a lot of guys, and looking to the right and seeing, all the good guys from that one guy from St. Louis and all those really good people, and thankfully not Ben Crane, but all those really good people on the track, seeing them and being nervous. But I ran my race and got that PR, which unfortunately I stuck with the whole year, wasn't able to run faster, but running with all those super good guys who there was a couple D1 commits there and just some really fast people. I ended up getting 10th in that race, which was really, really surprising for me. Like I think the goal was to run under 9:20, and that happened. So that was something I was really happy about. But the placement was definitely something that was big, especially
Yeah.
being on Grayson Onson's from St. Charles East, his shoulder going to the last lap, and a little altercation happened. I wasn't able to get him, but you know
Hmm.
it was awesome just to be up with those guys and kind of realize, okay, you're one of the guys. You can go run those times. You can go keep up with those people.
Okay.
So Sam, like so at that point you have the confidence, but having confidence and displaying it outwardly are two different things. So would you say like you're more of a person who likes to tell people up front what you think you can do, or would you say that you like to keep it more to yourself?
I would say this year, I'm sure a lot of people know I like to express how confident I am, especially in my training. For sure, I was particularly not happy with some of the rankings this year, and I made a couple people probably pretty upset. But that was just me trying to tell myself like, you can go run, keep that confidence no matter what they're saying about you, because I think a lot of that came from the meets I was going to, because St. Charles North doesn't go to a whole lot of meets. So I was
Mhm.
Sure.
winning in 15:03 pretty consistently, but
Yeah.
I just felt like I was being underrated a lot and I felt disrespected. But I just needed to remind myself, like, don't let that get to you. It's a stupid Instagram account. Like, don't let that get to you. It doesn't matter. Um, so it was pretty awesome just keeping that confidence up, even if I was
Yeah.
kind of upsetting people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually I think this talking about the rankings and stuff like that. So what do you think like do you think that the rankings are like helpful? Do you just look at them as like for fun? Like so what do you think about that? Like just to kind of because I find it interesting because a lot of times it's like the rankings come out And it's like, okay, they're doing their best to try to see where people are at. And at
Yeah.
the same time, it's like, well, you don't know everybody in the state. So it's just kind of one of those things. So what do you think?
I think that it's kind of a cool thing for them to do, like, get those posts up, get your likes, but I honestly feel like it's not really something that's super important. It's something that I kind of learned just not pay attention to, especially going to this track season. Um,
Yeah.
Not gonna lie, I unfollowed Illinois distance running just because it was just so much. It's a big stressor. And
Yeah.
like I said, I'd tell myself it's not important, but I feel like the accounts are so dumb because you have no idea what's going on in everybody's career. Like I had a light injury in my ankle just this past week, and nobody would have known that unless I just kind of talked about it, or they follow me on Strava, of course. But it's just like
Mhm.
you never know what people are going through and training wise or mentality wise. You never know if people are injured or just having a bad season. So I think you should wait until the end of the season,
Uh,
Mhm.
gather how they ran in the beginning of the season, who they beat, and take some more time, and then pull out the pre-state rankings. I just don't really see a point in like first week rankings. Like posting results, that makes sense, but like
Mhm.
right.
ranking stuff, that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, to be honest. But I was just never a fan of them.
Yeah.
But you talked about like the rankings don't really know what's going on in every athlete's life. So if I heard like mid cross country season before state, you ran a 2 mile time trial. Is that true?
Yeah,
Yeah, and you
it
ran.
is.
I think it was some crazy time, like 9:07, 9:08. Does that sound right?
907, 907. Yeah.
9:07. Yeah. So, and how long was that before the state meet?
That would be like I think it was October 20th, around there, like around that time.
Mm. So, how
So
would you
around,
say like that? Sorry, go ahead.
I would say it's around like maybe 2, 3 weeks before the state meet.
Okay. So, how would you say like how much confidence did that give you? And like that's one of the faster times out of anybody in the state. So, how did that help build your confidence going into the state meet?
Um, it it kind of gave me that confidence, like to make that move going into after mile one, and kind of that I can stick with those people because I do have that, that faster speed, like freshman year,
Mhm.
sophomore year, like 400s to 800s, not my thing at all. Like I didn't really have speed, but especially at sectionals, it could have just been because I was against Sammy Asava, who's a great athlete. But I found that I have a kick. So
Okay.
having a kick was really something that 2 mile kind of like showed me, like I do have that kick, I do have that faster speed, and it really made
Mhm.
me really excited for track because sophomore year
Yeah.
track state did not go great, and I have a lot of things I want to change, especially my racing strategy, and you know my PRs don't match
Mhm.
up right now, so that definitely gave me a lot of confidence going into the track season for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of track season, we're coming into indoors now. Are there any like races you plan on attending?
Yeah, so last year I probably raced too many indoor races, but this year I'll do, I think my opener is going to be at the Huntley meet, so where Tommy Nitz ran that
Okay.
fast mile last year, and
Yeah.
then I'll probably run the York meet. The
Mhm.
I forget what it's called, but it's at York. It's a really good meet. I think Prospect goes there too, Hinsdale Central, so some good teams. I'll probably run the 2 mile against Alex Krieg, which would be a really good matchup because cross country, I
Yeah.
know he didn't have his greatest performances. I know track is going to be hungry, so it'd be a
Mhm.
good chance to get a faster effort in before New Balance, which would probably be my last indoor race.
Okay.
New Balance,
Okay.
yeah,
So you're planning to attend New Balance Nationals out in Boston.
yeah. I'm all registered and everything. I just got
Uh,
to see if I can get my PR down a little bit so I can get into the faster heats. But I registered
gotcha.
with my NXR placement just so I remember to kind of update my time. But I'm
Uh,
excited to PR
okay.
and hopefully get into one of the
Okay.
higher championship heats because I know there's a lot. So
Mhm.
Yeah. So what events will you be doing out there?
I'll be doing the 30 or the 2 mile, I guess,
Okay. Yeah.
and the 5K. So pretty
Okay.
crazy double. I've never
Yeah.
doubled that distance before, but it'll be fun. It'll be my first time on a bank track too, so it'll be a new experience for
Yeah.
sure.
Do you
Nice.
have any like time goals? Like you want to break 9 or break
Yeah,
14,
I definitely want to
30?
break 9.
Mhm.
Definitely want to break 9. We'll see how that goes. Under 905 would actually make me pretty happy too. Sub 9 is
Nice.
definitely a big goal. Definitely not impossible, but definitely a big goal. I think it matches my 1420 a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that'd probably be the main goals, sub 9, and then the 5K. I would like under 14, at least under 1450, probably under
Mhm.
1440 because NXR was a good race, but that's on grass. On track, I think
Mhm.
I can drop some good time for sure.
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
probably at least under 14:45.
That's good.
Okay. So, yeah, going back to a little bit what you mentioned earlier, you had your injury, or you tweaked your ankle or your
Ankle,
foot,
yeah.
yeah, your ankle, and then you I think I messaged you because running lanes down in Alabama,
Mhm.
you didn't run that because taking care of yourself and everything. So, what would you say? How do you approach, or how have you approached when you do get injured and it takes you out for a little bit? Like, what is your mentality with that? Um, how is your approach? What can you walk us through a little bit of what that looks like for you?
I would say my approach to it, on a mental standpoint, I'm a big mental guy. I'm sure you can tell. But my kind of standpoint or my approach to that is, I just need to, it's just an opportunity to learn patience. I'm a big believer in Christ, so just I always think that God just give me a chance to learn that patience, to understand where I'm at. To I might be making too big of a jump. I need to slow down a little bit. Especially since these injuries have been super light, which I'm super grateful for. Not
Yeah.
been out for a super long amount of time. But it also is, okay, you can't just be sitting around, like, you gotta go. Like, I get as soon as I get injured, I'm in the pool. I try to get 12,000 yards a week when I'm injured, which was a little harder this last week, but especially since I've kinda added some more weightlifting into my routine, into my kinda training. But I try to get in the pool, try to just go hard, swim with a purpose, but also be careful not to come back too fast until I really feel good, and that was
Mhm.
quicker this time. During running lane, it wasn't too bad of an injury. I think I was out for 2.5 weeks. So, like I said, they've never been like season ending or something like that. And I've really learned patience with them and understand it's not the end of the world. And that's, I think, something a lot of people have to understand because, some people just give up, but you can literally have a chance to just come back stronger.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. So, you just mentioned that your faith plays a part in your life and everything. So, how do you think that your faith has played a part in your running career so far? How do you approach it, or uh, how does it play in your life?
So, I mean, I pray a lot, at least twice a day. Usually when I eat or after, whenever I need to, whenever I feel like I just need to talk to God and Jesus up there. So I think a lot of it isn't me like saying, like, give me the strength to do this, like, give me the strength to go run these PRs because I know they're already giving that to me and they're already pulling some strengths for me. I think a lot of it is just thanking them for giving me the opportunity. Like, I feel like people aren't as grateful as they should be when it comes to the ability they have, and that can come to bite them in the butt. So I think it's definitely just you got to be really appreciative of what you have, and like I said, I'm a big believer. So thanking them because they, gave me this body, this skill and everything, and I need to take care of it. And I thank them and let them know I'm taking care of it. And I thank them for the opportunities and just a lot of that stuff. Just overall, just a
Yeah.
lot of like appreciating it.
Yeah. So it sounds like so you really try to have that be thankful, have a heart of thankfulness, and that's a big thing because being thankful can help in so many different areas, not just running, but in our mentality, how we carry ourselves. And also just like pushing back a little bit of like depression that's shown it helps with that and everything. So all of that, all of
100%.
those things are really good. So, um, so with the running, I'm curious. So, like, how did you get into running? Is it something part of your family? Was it inspired by somebody else? How did you get into running?
So I was actually a really big baseball player. So like I'm sure
Okay.
most of us were. I started running seventh grade, I think. Yeah, seventh grade. So I actually joined because my big brother joined the cross country team. And I joined like 2 months late. Ended up liking it because I had a lot of friends on the team. Almost didn't run the next year, but the next year I kind of had a breakout. Not like a super big breakout, but showing that I had a little bit of skill in it. And then from that point is when I really decided, like, I wanna take this to high school, I wanna run the next level in college, and believe it or not, at that point, that I thought there was a division called D4, So I was going around telling people, "I'm gonna go to the D4 level," because I had no idea what I was getting myself into. But,
Yeah.
yeah, I would say but how I got into it more than just the older brother, but baseball, I was always, like, running the bases super fast, and that was my favorite thing to do was just run, like, center field, that's where the more aerobic guys play baseball, wants to sprint
Mhm.
fast and get to the ball. So I played center field a lot, and base running was my favorite thing. I couldn't hit well, don't worry, I don't think I ever hit a home run, so I couldn't hit super well, but,
Yeah.
I just liked the running part, and I said, let me try track," and I think the thing that really made me fall in love with it was track conference. I think it was at Geneva High School, just because we usually don't do it at one of the middle schools. I
Yeah.
ran the 4x4 with 8th graders, and I was the only 7th grader, and they totally gave me the stick, like, with a 50-meter lead, but I thought I was running so crazy, like, I was just holding people off in the 4x4. I was the anchor leg, and I heard my dad in the stands, and I won by, like, 5 seconds just because of their lead, like, it was crazy. I don't know why they were in that race, but, I
Yeah.
had that lead, and I was so happy at the end because people were cheering my name. It was, like, the final meet or the final race of the meet, so it was pretty awesome. I was like, "Okay, I'm gonna keep at this," and then, like
Yeah.
I said, cross country almost didn't happen in 8th grade, but I ended up doing it, had a little bit of a breakdown, and then just kinda went from there.
Okay. That I mean, that's awesome because we all start somewhere, and usually it's somebody inspiring us or
Yeah,
pushing us towards something or whatnot.
yeah,
And
for sure.
so I know you're right now like in the recruiting process, and you don't have to name the schools or anything like that, but are there several schools that you're kind of looking at right now? How and then also, like, how did the recruiting process start for you?
So, yeah, I'm definitely looking at a good amount of schools right now, very grateful for those opportunities, it's been great. A lot of people think the recruiting process is stressful, and it definitely is, but it's also really fun if you learn how to play the game, which it is a game. Um, so, and I think, um, it kinda started when I just did research on it one day, and then I realized, like, when I could start reaching out to colleges, but actually ended up reaching out to colleges my sophomore year before I could even do it, and
Okay.
I think me sticking with it and doing so much research about it and kinda, like, learning how to talk to coaches, how to set stuff up, where to reach out, when to reach out, and what to say in the emails without using any of the NCAA apps or anything that people don't need and waste money on. Um, I would say I got an email back from the Georgia coach as sophomore year. It was just the driest email ever. It was like, "Being that you're a sophomore, we can't communicate right now. Go Dogs!" Like that's literally what he said. But I would say I kind of got into it and got really good at it, or at least much better at it, just by that email, by research, and then just kind of take my time with it and learning from other people. Like I asked Ben Crane was a big mentor to me. He asked
Okay.
a lot of questions about how he got to BYU and stuff like that, and then I know recently, as I kinda got more into it, like, with the official visits and stuff like that, kinda starting up, Philip Kubiel actually helped me with some, colleges he was looking at and what his opinions were, so I definitely just
Okay.
told myself to stick with it and kinda pick some good options, but lots of advice too.
Yeah. So it sounds like you reached out to several people to kind of
Yeah,
get some feedback and that kind of thing, which is fantastic.
yeah,
It
for sure.
really is one of the better ways to learn about that stuff. So, um, uh, is- I guess how many visits have you had, like, or roughly? You don't have to give an exact number, but roughly.
Um, I don't mind giving an exact number. I've only had 2 so far. I'm kinda in the midst of it. I've had 2, both I like both the schools really well. I was more private about the first one, but the second one I met Bo Bun, so of course, I gotta post that on the Instagram story. Gotta get that photo
Right.
out there. But I've had
Yeah.
2, more hopefully will be coming soon. I'm planning on committing kinda early. I don't wanna say the exact time because I still want it to be kind of like a out of the blue thing. It'd be kinda cool to have it like that, the suspense, but I'm committing probably pretty early,
Mm,
definitely before the fall. So be
okay.
on the lookout for that, but I'm pretty excited, pretty grateful.
Yeah.
Nice.
So
Nice.
with the NCAA, I think it was just recently changed. You can only have 3 official visits, is that right? To per division?
Oh, no. I was pretty
Oh,
sure
really?
I've had a couple coaches tell me, "You can have as many visits as you want now." It's like
Oh, okay.
infinite visits now. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's
Okay.
what it is. You might have to fact check me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is now.
Okay. So,
Yeah,
well, I was gonna
Yeah,
we'll have to look.
yeah.
double check.
Well, so real quick, is there like is there anybody that is out there that you're like that gives you inspiration, whether like more like in the collegiate level and or like pro level that you look to and you're like not that you're trying to copy them, but you're kind of like, man, like I would emulate my style like them.
Definitely Marco Lingon, which I'm assuming you kind of know the answer to that. Definitely Marco Lingon for sure, which I got to meet him, so it's pretty awesome. And I actually learned we're really alike. Obviously he's much better than me, but we're really alike as people. He's a really cool guy. I got to meet him. But I'd say racing style even, like definitely like him. Freshman year I was more like P. Octane, just trying to lead every race, which was not smart. I was definitely not good enough for that. But I would say probably Marco for sure from Villanova.
Oh, yeah. Wow. So yeah, he's quite the outspoken character, or athlete,
Yep.
I should say. He's a
Yeah,
quite
for
the
sure, for
outspoken
sure.
athlete,
Yeah,
and
and
everything.
he can
At
back
this,
it up.
yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
like he he lays it out there, and it is very evident
Mhm.
that he does, and everything.
For
So
sure.
that I can appreciate. Yeah. Uh, so yeah. All right. So with that, Sam, I do have a couple of questions, and before I lead to those, Abe, is there any questions that you have that you want to ask?
Mm. So I guess one question I would ask is, earlier you talked about having fun with the sport, and you talked about your faith in God, just appreciating all of it. So, if we could, fast forward, you're 30, 35, you finish college, maybe kept running after, but you're done running, you're done with your career. What would you look as like one thing that you're trying to gain out of running?
I would say hard work and determination for sure. And just knowing like the hard work is what gets you to more opportunities in life, which is definitely what running has brought me. Like, even hard work, not just from like getting a better job, getting that promotion or getting that pro contract maybe, depending on the future
Yeah.
goes. Just kind of hard work gets you better relationships, a better look, a better physique, staying in shape as you kind of get older. Hard work gets you everything and you have to be disciplined and mature in those, kind of areas.
Yeah. That's good.
Yeah, I mean, that's great. Hard work is a lot of people can have talent, and sometimes giving hard work will outdo those people with talent, because you're just
Mhm.
willing to put that work in, and that time.
For sure.
And so that's a great question, Abe. Thank you for asking that. And what I was going to ask Sam was, at least I like to try to give opportunities to the athletes that we have on, the runners and everything. If there's anything you could say to our listeners that would either encourage or challenge them, what would you say to those, maybe a freshman listening, sophomore, or someone who's a junior? What would you say to them about running, or something about life?
I would say you always gotta have confidence, in yourself in anything you do, and don't be afraid to tell people how confident you are and show it. You gotta have the confidence to get out every day, go for that workout, go for that easy run, be excited about it, and have fun with the process, but always be confident in what you're doing, no matter what it is, because if you're gonna go into a race thinking, "Oh, I'm not gonna win this," what's the point of being in the race? There's no point. So just have that confidence what you're doing, have that confidence during training, and don't skip runs for sure. That's another big thing.
There you go. Don't skip the runs. Don't skip the runs. So, that's great. Thanks for sharing that,
For
Sam.
sure.
Really do appreciate that. And so, one of the things we like to do on the podcast is we like to, of course, we want to get to know you even more, and sometimes that's outside of running. And so, I just have a few questions here, just to kind of get to know you a little bit more. And so, the first one is, on your when you go out for a run, or workout, whatnot, and you're listening to music, what is on your playlist, like maybe top artist or top song or right now that you would say you're listening to?
I love this question. I'm probably the biggest Drake fan in all of Illinois running. I love Drake, and that might be a little mainstream, but I love his like kind of not as popular stuff. I love Drake. Drake's a big guy for sure. Um,
Okay.
and then yeah, definitely him. That's definitely like my lock-in music for sure too. But
Okay.
I move to country sometimes too, like
Oh,
Zach Bryan, Tyler, and then Tyler C. Um, kind of mainstream too. But they're both really good. But I'd say mostly Drake. I even like to go
okay.
into like that kind of like Brent Faiyaz and Daniel Caesar too. Those are both some really good as well. But yeah, all
Okay.
my Instagram posts are to Drake, so definitely a number one Drake fan here. But
All right. All right.
yeah,
All right. So Drake, there you go. You got a fan out here, Drake,
for
if you
sure.
ever listen.
Yep, yep.
Shout out Drake.
You better
All
be.
right. All right. So this next question would be is, um, if you've had, or excuse me, not if, but, what would you say has been your most embarrassing moment in a meet, whether it's cross country or track?
Okay, so New Balance Nationals freshman year. Outdoor first national meet. Didn't run fast or anything. Super hot. I think I ran 10:19, getting like 10th to last. So terrible experience there. Excited to go back and redeem myself, but on the start line, as the guy's about to shoot the gun and send us off, um, it's kind of a hard thing to explain, but I ended up going on 1 foot. Well, I didn't mean to, of course, but I ended up ending up on 1 foot and leaning all the way forward, about to fall over, like all the way forward. There's probably a photo of it somewhere. All the way forward, almost falling over with my arms out, trying to balance myself, and I hit the people next to me, so they had to stop the race and reset it. It was crazy. It was so embarrassing. My
Oh
my
man,
parent
I'm
my
sure.
parents still don't let me live it down. It's
I'm sure there's
crazy.
probably video out there or something out there on it.
Oh,
I don't
there
know.
is.
Maybe.
There is for sure.
Okay, maybe we can find it. I don't know.
Oh yeah, for sure.
um,
It's out there.
yeah. All right. All right. So then the last question. So this one is again just a fun one. If you you're on a cross country team and you had to
Mhm.
choose between DC characters and or Marvel characters, who's going to be on your team?
So, like, how many am I choosing? Just, like, 1 from both
We're just
or
well, just
5?
from one side. Yeah, just from one
Okay,
side.
5 from one side? Okay. Um, I would go Marvel for sure. Not a big DC
Okay.
guy other than Batman maybe, but
Okay.
I go Marvel. I go Iron Man for sure for the technology. He can fly too,
Okay.
and, he's got, Jarvis there too to help him out.
Uh-huh. Yep.
Spider-Man to kinda just hold people together, stuff like that. Um Ooh, who else? Who else? Who else? Hulk for the strength. Maybe he'll be the 800 runner. He's
Okay.
got that build. I would say, what's the guy with the arrow? What's his name again?
Hawkeye.
Oh,
The
Hawkeye?
Hawkeye. Yeah, Hawkeye to kind of stop people from running pretty fast. I don't know if you guys heard of the kind of technique. It was kind of in U20 Worlds. I don't know if that actually happened, but some guy like, I guess there's a rumor that some guy just stopped in the middle of the race and just like kind of went like this and stopped a bunch of people. So use that strategy
Yeah.
a little bit.
Okay.
Ooh, and then Captain America just for the leadership.
Okay.
Yeah,
There
Mhm.
you
those would be
go.
the
That's
5. Yep. Yep.
yeah, Cap would probably outrun everybody, do it all
Oh
day.
yeah, he would on your left every time.
Yeah, on your left. There you go. Oh man. Well, Sam, thank you so very much for taking time and coming on the podcast and everything. I enjoyed having you on, and I hope that we can have you on again in the future, and just
For
talk
sure.
about different things and where you're at and all that kind of stuff. So that would be we would welcome that opportunity. So. Um, Abe, do you have any last comments or any questions you want to say before we wrap this up?
No, yeah, I just agree with you. I mean, I thought it was a great conversation. Great talking to you. So thank you for coming on the pod.
Of course, anytime. Glad to come back any
Yeah.
day.
All right. Andale family, thank you so much for taking the time and sitting down with us or running, whatever you're doing, and you're listening to this pod. We want to say thank you so much for doing that. And please remember, you can follow us on the socials on Instagram and also TikTok. Very simple, andale.run. And also you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts as well. Please remember, you can give us a rate there. You can also leave a comment and a follow. That helps us out tremendously. We have some goals that we want to be able to hit this year. And so by doing those things, you'll be able to help us meet those goals. So thank you so much. Whatever you're doing this week, maybe this week you have your first indoor track meet. Or if you're out there and you're still running and training, keep doing that. And as you're doing those things and get your PRs, remember, we are here cheering you on, and we're giving you a big andale. So hope you have a good one, guys, and we will talk to you later.